Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Deanna and you're watching Orchid. Today I'm just going to do a little update on my upstairs grow space next to my western facing window. I have a few dendrobiums up here, I have some species phals and my mottled paphs plus some random orchids up here. I was going to do an update on my outdoor upstairs grow space, which has my cattleyas and oncidiums, which have been living there for the last couple of months over summer, just to get a bit more light. But it is super windy today and has been super windy for the last couple of days in Brisbane. There's a tropical cyclone that's coming down the coast, and yeah, it's just causing really strong winds. Not a drop of rain, unfortunately, but yeah, lots of wind. So if I filmed outside today, all you would hear is howling. In fact, you might be hearing howling in the background anyway, so if you're wondering, that's what it is. But before I begin, I just wanted to share some pretty sad news with you. But 2 days ago, my little puppy Frankie broke his arm. So he's broken his distal humerus, and it's in a little makeshift sling thing at the moment. Yeah, he was playing with his big brother Toby, and I wasn't home, but my partner was home, and yeah, I played a bit too rough and he fell and he broke his arm. So this poor little guy has just been through so much. He's only 6 months old and he's had meningitis, and he had relapses of meningitis. He developed seizures post that, and he's just been really good for the last month. Like, we were just so happy that he was getting better, and then he goes and does this. So he actually is booked in for an operation to get some pins and plates tomorrow. The poor little guy. He's got a little fentanyl patch and he's just been chilling out, but he's coping remarkably well considering his injury. But yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know, because yeah, it's been a stressful year so far. Like, just not for me personally, I haven't been in hospital, but my partner's had appendicitis. This little guy has just been in and out of the vets. So yeah, anyway, back to the orchids. So we'll start on this side. There's not a huge amount to report here. Everything's just basically an active growth. So I've got some encyclias, or prosthechias here. This is Encyclia cochleata. It's got 3 new growths coming up there, going nice and steadily. Got dendrobium little green apples, which is bringing out a couple of new growths there as well. This is one of my dendrobium CKI ochre, with a nice growth coming up there. This dendrobium had stalled for a bit. It had a little nubbin there and it stayed like that for a couple of months, but now it's starting to push through again, so that's nice. This guy's finished this growth, not doing anything much. This is an interesting Latoria type. I'll show you the name of it. It is Dendrobium finistere crossed with Eximium. It's doing well. It was only repotted in January, but it's grown these 2 new growths quite substantially. So it's doing pretty well after its repot. It's a nice little cakey from one of my grandma's dendrobiums, pushing out another growth, but it's only just matured this one as well. Another Encyclia radiata. The next shelf down is a little bit of a funny mix, but everything again is just in active growth. I've got a species Falmariae here, and Paph bellicillum is bringing out a new little leaf there, as you can see. Got dendrobiums, Falschilleriana just finishing off this leaf. I did do a video of my other complex hybrid phals and how I was happy with their root growth, but the species phals, they're a little bit slower, but their roots are also doing very well. So I'm quite happy with these guys. This is a Gigantea. Root's also doing very well. Speciosa. Frankie, you should be in bed, honey. Dendrobium hibiki back here is still in bloom. I think the blooms are just beginning to fade, but it's been about 3 months now. Oh, maybe you guys can help me with this one. So this is Paphiopedilum vietnamense crossed with Delenatia. I think it's also known as Ho Chi Minh. But basically it finished growing and it started this little sheath. This was quite a few months ago now, and it dried up. It got moved around while I was going overseas and was being babysat by a friend, and yeah, it just shriveled up. But it's done absolutely nothing for about 3 months now, so I can't see, I mean, it's stable in the pot, but I can't see any sort of active root growth. I can't see any little baby plants coming up on the side, so I don't know. So I'm just sort of waiting. If anyone else has any experience with paths in this situation, can you tell me, like, how long does it normally take for a new shoot to come up from these guys, or do you normally have these experiences where they die off, like if they don't bloom? Sure. All right. So I'm probably got to put this little guy in a crate because he's moving around way too much for my liking. I'll be back. And down on the bottom shelf, these paths are all doing pretty good. They're all growing steadily, bringing out new leaves. This one's got new leaf. You can see the shadowing there coming up. It's actually 2 red mortiers, but actively growing there. Yeah, so our little model paths really enjoy this space. They get a lot of afternoon warmth, and it stays fairly warm up here anyway, even in winter. New little leaf coming up there. So yeah, not much to report on this side, but they're all doing pretty well. So there's a little bit more going on this side. A couple of these orchids have been brought in from outside because it's been windy, but also, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago I lost a couple of buds, like this Cattleya had 3 buds when I went to bed one night, and the next morning it only had 2, so yeah, I thought a couple of these guys would be better off inside. But we've got a Brassia hybrid here. This is Miltassia Phoenix Rising White Light, and I actually got this guy from an orchid show last year, and it's reblooming for me now. Nice big solid spike. These Brassia hybrids also produce these big plump pseudobulbs, so just one direction of growth on this guy, but good solid growth for this season. I've got my little Pinguicula here, and it catches lots of little bugs for me, little fungus gnats, which I'm always very pleased about, but it also gave me a little bloom, which is kind of cute. So next door we've got this Paphiopedilum. It's a Fairyarnum cross, and yeah, this spike really took a very long time to develop. I don't know, I thought it was going to bloom, but it just kept growing, but it's finally opened up this beautiful flower now, and you can see it's got this typical Fairyarnum shape of the dorsal sepal. I just really love how deep, rich maroon that is, and you can see the lovely delicate veining in there. Just love the fuzz. Just love that fuzz. very cute little bloom there. And as I'm talking, I can smell this little one. This is my Bellina. She's got 2 blooms at the moment, and her fragrance is just wafting at me all the time. Every time I walk past this landing, I just get a whiff of her fragrance as well. So she's a nice healthy little plant, and you can see another little bud developing there. Can't get enough of these flowers. They are so beautiful, and they smell like sweet lemons. Just a really, really pleasant, lovely fragrance. Next to her, we've got this Cattleya, which is in bud. Would have been lovely to have 3 buds, but no, only got 2 this time, and you can see this one's got a lip spilling out. So I don't think it's meant to do that, but yeah, they're quite big buds, as you can see. And the name is Elsie Alancondo, crossed with Elsie Maui Plum Volcano Queen. So she's a ratty looking orchid, really. The leaves sort of curl up and they're quite rigid, so I don't find it very attractive, but hopefully the blooms will make up for that. This new pseudobulb is just beginning to dig its roots into the medium. So Falcornu Servi is doing really well. I noticed this plant just only seems to be able to concentrate on one thing at a time. So a few weeks ago it lost its flower. It only brings out 1 flower on each spike at a time for me. And so it's put out this leaf this season, put out a couple of flowers, and then it started just going nuts with the roots. So it's got lots of new roots coming out there. But yeah, just it's not an orchid that can multitask, apparently. And downstairs we've got an Orangis there, and a few foul species seedlings, all doing pretty well. A couple of dendrobiums that aren't doing quite as well, so this one's just gone downhill since getting repotted. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see how that one goes, see if it'll pull through. It's not looking very happy. And I'm having constant issues with this Dendrobium Firewings. Like, it's growing on from this side and developing well. It's got a nice root system developing and burrowing into the media there, but I just keep getting rot on the back bulbs. So I chopped off 2 more bulbs last week. Yeah, so we'll see. I've potted it a little bit higher, so the base is not in the medium at all. I've changed its position, so it was on the opposite side, but now this area just gets slightly more breeze and it gets hit by the fan during the day a little bit more, so hopefully that helps. And finally, guys, we've got my Phalaenopsis violacea here, and she is just an absolutely beautiful plant. I love these glossy leaves. This is the newest leaf here, and it's in bloom at the moment with another little bud probably about a week away from opening up. Just look at the depth of colour on my violacea. So there's lots of different varieties of the violacea, and this one is definitely a little bit more, slightly more purple in real life, but on the screen it's coming up as a pink purple. Still a very deep colour. I really, really love this flower. It's beautiful, and it's just got a little bit of yellow down there in its throat. And in terms of its fragrance, it smells like cinnamon, like a cinnamon scroll fresh out of the bakery. It smells really, really good. But if I had to choose, I would probably go with the Bellina. It's a little bit more to my liking. I love those citrusy, sweet fragrances, but yeah, the Violacea is definitely one that I think everybody should smell, because it really, really does just smell like cinnamon. Alright guys, well thank you very much for joining me today. Thought I'd end this video by pulling at your heartstrings a little bit and showing you poor little Frankie in his crate holding his sore arm up. Poor little guy, just cannot get a break. And poor Toby, with all the stuff going on with Frankie, he's been a little bit neglected, and I think he might have gotten in a little bit of trouble when Frankie got hurt. Not that it was his fault at all, but you know how it is. Poor little Toby. He just does not like the howling of that wind. Anyway guys, I hope you guys have a better week than I'm having, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more orchid videos, or if you just want to see more of Toby and Frankie. And happy growing until I see you next time. Bye.